We're going to talk a little bit about the Advanced tab under the Epilog printer properties. So normally we come into the General tab area. If we click beside it under Advanced, we'll see some different options here. The first one is Raster Type. So a common problem that people have is they go to raster from the General tab and they get some odd results. The wrong shading is being etched in, or it's not giving them the results that they think they should be getting. Check under the Advanced tab to make sure the last person that used it did not set the raster type at something else. For most cuts, unless there's a specific reason not to, always set this to basic. The 3D raster type will actually use grayscale on the image to adjust the power settings on the laser. So what this will do is darker image colors, darker grayscales all the way to black will be the deepest, and going up to white won't be cut at all, and light grays will be cut just very barely, and this gives a slight kind of bas relief carving to the piece. It's not very pronounced, but it is there, and it kind of does a neat effect. So that is using either a grayscale image or a color image. Both of those will work. Just keep in mind, lighter colors will be less etched, darker colors deeper etching to them. The other one is Stamp, and Stamp takes a traditional raster image and gives it kind of shoulders. So if you think about a rubber stamp, it would give it these kind of beveled edges, and you can see here if red is the area, this would be the top of your cut. We're looking at a cross section. They give these little kind of angled pieces, kind of like draft angles, to support the top of the rubber stamp. This can also be used with things like acrylics to create embossing stamps, with acrylics to do things like ceramic stamping, that type of thing. And really the only things that we can change about this is we can select the thickness of these shoulders. So as you see, as this number gets smaller, the shoulders shrink in, wider out, they become more pronounced, more support. And we can actually widen the pieces. So if you watch the top of the block, it actually gets wider, so it'll actually thicken lines and that type of thing. This one tends to mess with designs, so I tend to leave this at 0 and adjust up here to give more support. We can also, this has a function to mirror the design, but I have found since it only mirrors the raster pieces, it can mess you up, because if you're vectoring around these, then obviously you want to change your vector lines. So I would recommend, instead of mirroring here, to mirror within the program that you're going to run. Especially if you're going to do like lettering and things like that. Remember, for a stamp it needs to be backwards. So mirroring here, not very useful. I would mirror within your program. Fence allows you to draw a closed polygon around your design, and that is where it will stop cutting at. So it lets you cut the whole background without cutting the entire size of your work. So that's an important one, but you have to have a hairline closed polygon around your design to act as a fence.